So so maybe you can tell me like the things you think you struggle with, the things you think you struggle with on ICC, so I can just know how I want to start, or if you just want me to start all the way from all afresh.
Uh, Pretty much like I get the gist of the high of the trend changing, the higher high, the higher low, and then switching to a lower high, lower low. My main problem I have is when I switch to the lower time frame, I lose track of the bigger picture. But I also don't feel like I'm marking my zones correctly.
Okay, so like you think where you having the most problems is marking your zones properly and all that, but you already kind of understand the structure, maybe the high highs and higher lows on a downtrend and the lower low and lower high on an uptrend or something like that.
Yeah, so like most of the time I'll mark the recent swing high and recent swing low, but um, then when it gets close to one of those zones, that's when I'll zoom in and watch price. But when I go back and look at the groups and the his overall trade overview, he's got a completely different zone marked than what I would have marked.
Okay, so like when you're making your analysis, do you start from the high time frame to go down, or you just go straight to the 15 minute time frame for to mark out your zones?
I try to mark the 4 hour swing high and low, and then I'll go to the 1 hour and I'll look for uh, where price is at there, or I'll just mark up on the 1 hour.
Okay, so this is what you do. Let's say we go to gold, then you go to 4 hours, and you just like let's say you mark out like this high here, and then you mark
Mm-hmm.
out like this one here. Is what you do
Yeah, and then I'll wait for price to break either one.
for you to
But
enter the buys or sells.
yeah, but I also have a problem of selling from the support and buying at the resistance instead of buying at the support and selling at the resistance because when I was first learning to trade this whole year, I've been a scalping trader on the 1 minute chart, and I would always trade breakouts.
Okay, so you once you see price starting to break out, you are in the trade, not for the resistance, but like you just trade only breakouts, basically.
Yeah, and that's the habit that I'm trying to break when I'm trying to transition to ICC.
Okay. Well, first of all, when you say you mark out, you just come to the trade and you mark out this high and this low. Um, that already puts you kind of in in a different position, I would say, because you are not really trading. This is not ICC. This is a completely different system. If that makes sense, because you just marked out the swing high and you marked out the swing low, and you get in when price is trying to break the swing low or the swing high. That's basically trading breakouts. But in
Yeah, and I've been trying to wait for like I'll go down to the 15 minute and I'll try to wait for the trend to come back up and change, like how he talks about on ICC. But I don't realize that um,
when that is, you don't know when that is gonna happen.
I can see it a little bit. It's all trash. But so like this last week on gold, the past few days, the 4 hour was in a correction phase, and I didn't know that because I only marked up on the 1 hour, and so I was expecting. Let me pull up my micro gold chart so I can see what I was trying to do. I was expecting price to dump to the bottom
Yeah.
on the on gold, but on the 4 hour time frame we were correcting, so gold just kept trying to buy up. It's not gold. It's Vanguard. There we go. Yeah. So I was expecting gold to drop to the bottom. Am I able to share my screen too?
Mm, yeah, I think I can. I'm just gonna give you permission. 1 sec. So,
Or
so
that way I can show you how my chart was marked this week.
okay. So no, not here.
So,
Hold on. Trying to find. Okay. So that, do you try to share? Or you can share.
I'm trying to see how I do that. I guess I go to the videos.
So I'll just stop
Enabled.
sharing, and then you can
Well,
go back.
I don't exactly know how to share on here. Oh, there we go. Share. Screen two. There we go. All right. What the Zoom call minimize? In a little bit. Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Are you able to see?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. So this support right here.
Can you zoom in
I
a
was
little bit more? Yeah, okay.
I had this the 4 hour low. So on my 4 hour chart, I had marked the low and then the original high that it had, and then I marked a new high because the 4 hour made a new high. But before I had this high marked, I didn't know that the 4 hour was going on a correction like this. So on the 1 hour, I just saw that price, was making lower highs, lower lows, and then it changed and went up. So previously I was trying to buy up and price wouldn't go. And then we had this double top and then price sold off. So then I was expecting price to sell below this level. It came down, retested, and then just kind of stayed. But I ended up getting out here at break even. And then I got back in at this level, which is right here. I was trying to sell from this point instead of holding a sell from this point. And so price just didn't do anything. But I know I need to sell from resistance instead of from support because it can always come down like these did and just wick it, touch up, and then go back up, or like it did over here.
Okay. So I see what you're trying to say. Let me see if I can kind of
I'm
control.
I'm I'm always on the opposite side of the trend is the way I feel because I'm always trying to sell from the bottom and buy from the top instead of the inverse of that, buying from the bottom and selling from the top.
Can you clean up your chart? Maybe can you delete stuff to just clean up the chart?
Uh,
Alright, so zoom out a little bit. Let me just take control of your screen. Let me request remote access. So I'm requesting to take control.
all right.
Okay. So what
Like a
I'm going
modern day team viewer.
yeah.
I used to use TeamViewer back in the day instead of Zoom, so this is all new to me. But
Okay.
TeamViewer had remote control access.
That's cool. That's cool. So well, can I just maybe I can just share my own screen and just explain it for you from my own screen. I think I
Yeah,
already got what you're trying to say to me, so I'm just gonna share my own screen.
yeah, that's fine.
All right. I'm gonna go back to the 18. Share. Share view.
And like I've tried to use these EMAs, but
Yeah.
it's hard for me to follow them because every time I try to trade them, they end up just dancing around each other and not doing anything until I get out of the trade.
All right. So first thing I want to just put in your mind, because the where you're getting all wrong, you're getting it all wrong from the very beginning of your analysis. Because you trying to trade
Right.
ice, you trying to trade ICC, but the way you analyze the market, you just analyze it like it's a breakout, and
Yeah, that's where I'm struggling a lot because, like I said, I spent a year just trading breakouts.
exactly. So what we're gonna try and do now, like I said, is that we're gonna unlearn what you've learned, and the only way we can unlearn is that you need to get your analysis right. You need to know where to start to analyze and what you're trying to look for, right? So because when you say that you're trading breakouts, right? Let me just let's say we mark out here is a level, and we mark out another level under here, and you just wait for price to break either above or below one of the levels. But
Yeah,
one thing we know about ICC is that when price makes a correction, new high, correct. When price makes a new high, even if it's just a little bit, if it makes a new high, it's gonna correct itself. So you being in this trade, getting in this trade here, you are most likely going to, because price needs more money. Like whenever price in ICC, what you have to understand is whenever you see price break above a resistance level,
mm-hmm.
it needs money. It needs money for price to be able to push higher, right?
Right.
So most times what price is gonna do is it's gonna break out and then it's gonna try to take out all the buyers that are already in this market that have their stop loss all down here. It's gonna try to take them all out before
Yeah, it
it's
happens to me a lot. It'll break out, and then it'll be like those wicks over on your left side where
yeah,
it breaks out the top, and then it just wicks all the way back in.
exactly. So it's just trying to take out all the buyers before it starts making the move. So that's why that breakout you're trying to trade, it's gonna be difficult for you because you are always putting yourself in the position where you're gonna be the liquidity. Like price is always gonna use you as liquidity trying to take you out before price makes the actual move. So what thing you have to understand is that you are trying to spot indications. Like in ICC, let me type this out. So you have the you probably know this already, but I'm gonna say it again because obviously it hasn't like you haven't understood it to that level that you start to put it into practice. So so you need to understand that for especially for someone that is still trying to get used to ICC or start to trade it a little bit more, you need to understand that the indication is you don't trade the indication because the indication is just price telling you where you wants to go, showing you how
Mm-hmm.
high it wants to go. So you don't want to trade the indication because the indication is just price telling you how high it wants to go. So what you always trade in the breakout is the indication. You don't even know how high price is trying to go. So that's
Right.
why whenever you get into that, it's always always get taken out because you don't even know how high price is trying to go. So we don't trade the indication because we don't know how high price is trying to go. Price is still trying to show us how high it can go, right? So the
Mm.
indication we don't trade. The correction, we don't trade the correction. I would say you can trade it, but at this level you are right now, you don't want to trade the correction as well because you also don't know if price is done going high or if it wants to go higher. That makes
Right.
sense, right? So that's why you don't trade correction because you don't know if price is done going high or if it wants to go higher. Now, what you trade is in the continuation because at this point, price has already shown you price has already shown you, hey, I want to go high. Price has shown you how high it wants to go. So that is why you trade the the continuation because you just trying to do what price has already shown you that it wants to do. So just get this one in your mind that for now you don't want to trade the indication, you don't want to trade the correction. What you want to trade is the continuation because that is price showing you that hey, I've shown you that above this level I can go this high. So now I'm back above this level. I want to go this high again. I'm gonna show you this on the chart in a very good way. I'm gonna show you this using because I have current trade that I'm looking at on USD JPY. Gold right now is choppy, but I'm still gonna show you this on gold, right? So
Yeah.
let me first of all go.
Yeah, gold was pretty frustrating last week.
Yeah, it was choppy. I took one trade on gold, which I lost, but I didn't take any action on gold because it was choppy. To be honest. So let me just use this for example, right? I'm gonna use and also when you are making an analysis, you don't want to go back all the way back here trying to find everything happening here. You don't need all this information. You just need to know what happened in the last maybe the last 5 days, 4 days. That's cool. That kind of gives you a picture of where the market is at currently.
So roughly within the last week.
Yeah, let's just see within the last week. So you don't want to go all the way trying to find or go all the way back because you're just gonna fill yourself with so much information and everything that happened there has is past. So this is where you are right now and this is where you want to focus on, right? So I'm gonna just explain this for you on this pair where we see price here, price comes here and makes a low. So I'll write this all down. So price comes here, this is a high, this is a high. Right, so
Zooming in would be nice because I trade from my phone the majority of the time, and you can't see nothing on the phone.
me right now.
No. I'm on my desktop right now. I
Okay.
got your stream on one screen, and I got USD JPY pulled up on the other screen. That way, as you mark, I can mark. That way, I have this set up as a template to refer back to.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I don't trade USD JPY, so I only trade Nasdaq and gold.
Okay.
But I'm currently on the futures side, but like I said, I'm gonna start using that Hanko account once I'm available to.
All right. All right. That's cool. So I'm just gonna keep writing this down. So just let's say high, low, copy, paste. This is gonna take a minute though, because I'm just trying to break it down as much as I can. So
Mm-hmm.
you just grab it. So I'm just gonna take it slow. Delete this. So low and low. Increase this a little bit. Right. Then this is the lower high. So I'm just so price comes here. This is the 4 hour time frame though. So price comes here, makes it high, right? You following me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So price comes here, make it high, right? And we know
Yeah.
price was building up, makes it high, then makes it low. And you know this low takes out this because when price made this high, this becomes the new low because this low forced price to make it high. And then price took out this low. So this becomes the new low right now. So how we have a high and we have a low. Then price made a lower high here, made a lower low, made a lower high respecting this previous lower high. Make sense?
Yeah.
Then made a new low, right? After making a new low, make I'll say this is the lower high, and then makes a new low. I think I shared this trade on the group, on the playouts as well. This was a sell. I shared it there, made a new low. So now we we understand that price successfully made lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and so when price is in a downtrend, when price is trending, it's it's going to keep respecting highs and creating new lows. If price is trending down, it's going to keep respecting highs and creating new lows. That shows that it's in a downtrend. When price is not
Mm-hmm.
uptrend, it's going to keep respecting lows and creating new highs. Now, when you look at this, new low, have a low, price creates a new low, creates a lower high, creates a new low, lower high, creates a new low. Now, if you notice what happened here, price then comes on and takes out this previous high.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
This right here is what you want to call your indication, because this is price showing you that maybe price is about to break structure and start making
Mm-hmm.
new movements. Does that make sense? So right now we have a high, low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You expect what you expect to see is a lower high, and then price then comes on and breaks this high right here. So this is what you want to call your indication, because this is price indicating to you that maybe buyers are starting to come into the market. This is a sign from price telling that buyers are starting to come into the market, right? So
Yeah.
now we have a new indication. Now, if you are trading breakouts or something, you're probably seeing this as a downtrend. Or if you don't know how to trade ICC properly, you will probably be getting into a sell under these levels. Let me mark that out, because that is basically where you will find most people are gonna be getting into a sell on here, right here,
Well, I would have normally I would get into a sell above that top level,
above the top level.
the high that you just marked out, just above that low that you did.
Oh,
That resistance level right there.
anyone?
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
get
would
into
be
a
getting
sell.
in around there on the sell off because I would watch that high up there and I would see that dragonfly and that doji and then those top wicks, and
Okay.
then that's when I would start getting in for a sell, but also below this resistance is when I would get in.
Okay, so you gotta get that dragonfly and doji, and you gotta stop all those, because you don't work. That's the truth. You don't work.
Yeah, I get screwed over on wicks all the time. I'll see a wick and try to go in the opposite direction that the wick is going. So like down here at the bottom where you have all those bottom wicks,
Yeah.
there's sometimes I would try to buy up from there, but then price is still pushing down, and then
That's
after it takes me out, it goes up.
that's cool, because now we are doing a live analysis right now, so you're just gonna see how everything plays out, and by next
Mm,
week you're gonna realize, see, okay, is is what I'm saying even true, or is it just wrong? If you get me. So like I was
yeah.
saying, price making new low, making new lows. What you expect to see is price respecting this low, this high, and keep making lows. But we see price giving breaking these previous lower high, and that's what we call the indication. So this is price telling us, hey, buyers are starting to come into the market, right? So this is what I call my indication. Now, do I get in here? No, because I don't know how high price is going to go, right? And that's why you
Mm-hmm.
didn't see where I say get in here. Because if you got in here, maybe you got lucky, you closed around here, cool. But if you got in here trying to get profit around this level, price just gets
You get
scared and
cooked.
starts dropping, and you just lose your money, because you got into a trade that you don't know if buyers are going to keep going up or something. But here we see price as clearly giving you that indication saying, hey, above here, I can go this high. So
Yeah.
that's just clear. So now this is what I call my indication. Also, I didn't just get the indication from nowhere. I got the indication from price. Price was in a downtrend, and then price starting to take out highs. So that's the indication. The indication is price giving you an indication of its next direction. It doesn't mean that you should follow it. It's just giving you an indication. It's just giving you a hint that, hey, maybe I'm starting to change trend. Hey, maybe buyers starting to come into this market, right? So now
Mm.
we have this indication. Now this is the correction. Now if I was this is the correction and how I should get this, I should be getting to a buy back above here. Now if for some impatient traders who are impatient, now they've seen indication, correction, and they see this price is starting to show signs that it's starting to move, they're gonna start getting into buys here, around here, trying to catch that sniper entry where you can have that small or maybe a little bit of stop loss, and then maybe you can have more TP and all that. But you just have to remember, you need to trust the process more and just forget about the money for now and just focus more on the process, because if you get it right, money is going to follow, right? So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah. I
get
started realizing that recently.
exactly, so if you get into this trade here, if you get, let's say you get into this trade, let's say you get into around here, right? Which your stop loss here, the small stop loss, trying to get something like this. If price decides to do this, come back down here and keep going up, this whole setup is still gonna be valid. Price just took you out.
Yeah, because then it made a lower high. That new low confirms that lower high. When price drops below that recent
Yeah,
low,
because
it confirms that lower high.
as long as price is not taking out these lows, this is still the indication.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
so where your entry would be on that trade, that wouldn't be a lower high if price dropped below that swing low after the correct on the correct after the correction.
I don't understand. Ask that again.
Um. There. Let me. Okay. We have the indication and then the
Yeah,
correction,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
When you said if price pushes up into the continuation, but then pushes back down below, and takes you out, wouldn't that turn that into a lower high once the continuation pushes below the correction?
No, it wouldn't turn into. Let me show you why it wouldn't. Because remember, this is the indication above here.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. So it won't count that as a lower low because it hasn't fallen below the part that made the move.
It's exactly, it hasn't fallen below these lows. So as long as
Okay,
these lows,
I understand now. I've been going by every single swing high and swing low
mhm,
as it changing. So like where price is now, if it drops below that end of that correction phase, then I would mark that as a lower low and a lower high, and then the new low would be a lower low.
yeah, well, if that would make sense, but in
Well,
this,
higher low and then lower high and then uh, lower low.
just my point that I'm trying to make out to you right now is this, right? Let me type it out. So this is a new high. Now, price right now is trying to create, we expect price to be trying to create a, a higher low, because like I
Yeah.
said, yeah, price is trying to create a higher low. And I told you that if you are an impatient trader, because you know that following ICC, you should be getting into these buys above this level, not under these levels. You want to get it above here. Right here is where you want to get it, right? So, but if you are kind of impatient and you decide to get in right here, thinking, saying, okay, I think here this is the price that's giving the lower high, and now price is starting to push up, and you get in here and
Mm-hmm.
you put your stop loss here. I'm trying to point out to you that if price decides to drop a bit lower to this level and then start pushing up, that this whole setup is still valid because this low is the one that caused this break. So this is the low, and as long as price hasn't taken out this low, this is still an indication
Okay. And
because
until that ended, until that high gets broken, then that correction to continuation isn't technically a new low.
that correction to, yeah, until this price, until price gets above this level, that is when you can now say, okay, I think this this low,
That's the
this should be the lowest price can go.
okay.
Do you understand?
That's yeah. See, I've been doing. I guess I've been all wrong the whole time because we would have the indication I would mark it as a new high, and then it would come down, and I would mark that as a higher low, and then it would go into the continuation, and then that would be my new trend.
Yeah,
So I would be marking that as a higher low before price even broke back above the indication high
exactly.
or the level.
That's where you get a bit impatient because you thinking like it's ICC, it's gonna work. It's ICC, it's gonna work, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. And then
Yeah.
you just get into a trade at a place where you're supposed to be sitting on your hands and just watching trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So right here, many people are gonna start getting in. This is the in continuation, but then it's gonna just it can fuck you up or something like that. So you want to see price back above this level because this about above this level is where price made that indication, and where you want to be getting into the trade, you like I said, you want to trade the continuation, and the continuation is only valid when price starts to come back above this level,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm going to show this on gold as well, so it wouldn't seem like I'm cherry picking a trade. But this is what I'm looking at for the week on USJPY. I'm just looking at it to see if we can see price start to break above here, and then I can take a buy and target this high, and then I can target higher, depending. So, but let me go to gold. So remember that when you come to the trade, when you come to analyze the charts, right? I think the 4 hour is cool. If you want to use the 4 hour, it's cool. I don't use the 4 hour. I use the 1 hour most of the times. And when I'm in the 1 hour time frame, all I'm just trying to find is that um is the direction of the market. If I get direction of the market, that's what I'm trading. So on gold right now, here's what we see on gold. So seeing that price around this level is pretty choppy. It's pretty looking pretty bad. You don't want to trade
Mm-hmm.
anything inside this zone, right? But
Yeah.
what we see here is that we have a high, we have a high here, and then we have a low. Let's say this is low. So we have let's say this is the lower low. But I wouldn't call this the lower low anymore because price already did this, kind of taking out this low. So I'll just take this off. This is low. Are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. So this is the low, right? I'm just telling you how I'm gonna look at gold. This is the low. So we have a high and we have a low. Now, as long as price hasn't breaking out of this low, I don't think it should be a sell. Does that make sense? As long as price
Yeah.
hasn't broken out of this low, because price breaking out of this low, that would be you could say the indication from price, because price is not making a lower low. So
Hmm.
you could say that's the indication from price telling you that he wants to keep going down. So you don't want to be getting into a sell until you see price take out this low. But what most people were just doing last week was I don't know, they were just marking out this level and just price come under here, the selling. I guess you won if you did that. But the correct trade is that as long as price hasn't broken up of this level, you don't wanna like you don't wanna you don't wanna sell. I think size sold around here. Are you aware?
Yeah.
So size sold
Um,
around here. But I would say you don't want to look at that because like size side. You get what I mean? Size
mhm.
side. And you are you. And at the level where size are is not the same level where you are. So you don't want to start from the earliest part of your trading to start chasing to trying to be like Sai. You want to first get the basics right, and then slowly your experience is going to teach you how to approach the market better. Because Sai sold here based on the 15 minutes time frame. If I go in, I can be able to give you more explanation on why he sold here. Because price made there was a price. If you go to the 1 hour time frame, you see that this low cost this new high. So you want to
Mhm.
mark it out, right? So you mark out that this low costs this new high. And then price comes and takes out that low, giving you that indication that price is trying to go down, right? And go down to 15 minutes time frame. So that gives you that indication that price is trying to go down. So this is more like an indication. And then now this also becomes an indication for you as well. Let me mark it down. Because price took out two levels. Price took out this low. This low cost to break up this high, but then price comes and takes out this low, giving you that indication that hey, maybe sellers are trying to come into the market. So this now becomes the indication. Then price corrects itself. This was where you want to enter, but if you enter off based off here, it's still correct. If your risk is small, if you want to risk it, you can get in here. Because price, if price was not uptrend, price should have taken out this low. So for the fact that price took out this low, it means that price is trying to switch trend. So this becomes indication correction back under this level. This is where you want to get into the sell and just target this low or lower basically. But this for you to be able to catch this trade is something that you need to catch with more of an experience. You have a more deeper experience of the whole trade, and like you've at least understood your 1 hour time frame correctly before you start to try to take this kind of trade on the 15 minutes time frame. So, and that's why I'm not really going in depth in this trade for now, because I feel like
Mhm.
it's not something you want to just put your mind on because it's Sai, and you cannot be like Sai on your first
Yeah.
2 months of trading ICC. You cannot do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because as I see, price didn't even break the that low that we marked.
Exactly. So it's purely experience. That trade was where you see okay this dude is experienced in this trading, and you want to get to that level eventually, but you want to take it slow on yourself, right? So, and you
Hmm.
taking it slow on yourself is just you marking out the obvious zones where you want to just be sure that okay, here is obvious, and like we want to take it from there. And then slowly we're gonna be getting into the smaller time frames. But before you get into the small time frames, you want to first of all understand the big time frame, the 1 hour. Because what most people do lately is that they just come to ICC and they are like looking for ways to get into the market. They're looking for entries, but they don't even really understand the basics, and they don't even understand what is going on in the charts. They don't even understand what is going on in the market, and they're just trying to learn entries. But you can't just learn entries like that. You need to be able to first of all just get the basics right. The basics is the basic of everything. So basics before you talk about going to lower time frame. So the basics I would say for you right now is that hey, this is a low where you want to see price take out for you to call it the indication. So as long as price don't take out this low, buyers are still in the market,
Mm,
right? So because price can come here and keep pushing up, right? So you want to
yeah.
see price make an indicator, and even price can even come here, make a wick and start pushing up. You can it's just gonna be confusing a little bit. So you want to see that price make that indication
Mm,
correction. Now
yeah.
you are gonna be sure. Okay, good. This this is good. I want to enter on the continuation. It took a bit of a time where you stayed patient for a day or two, but at least you're getting to the right trade. At least you're getting to a trade where you know is what your risk. And also,
Mm,
another thing I would say that I've seen that is very important is you want to wait for that 1 hour closures. It's very important that those 1 hour closures they play a big role. So when price makes that indication correction on the continuation, you don't wanna just get in when you see price trying to push under these levels. No, you wanna wait for that 1 hour to close under these levels for you to get into the sell.
okay.
Like it's sometimes because sometimes you're gonna see price make an indication. Let me draw it out. So you're gonna see price make an indication, make a correction, and then trying to break under this level. You see 1 hour breaks out, but then closes above here. Then maybe another 1 hour candle opens, breaks out, but then closes above here. And the next thing you're gonna see is the next 1 hour candle is gonna rip up. But then someone that's impatient is already in. Why? Because he saw that the candle was breaking up, but he didn't wait for that candle to close because he was too scared of missing out on a move. He didn't
Mm,
want to miss out on the move, so he got in with thinking okay, price is gonna go down, it's gonna go down, it's time to go down. Now I'm getting in, and after you got in, price does break, but then closes back above here. It never really broke closed under this level. It's just kept breaks, but kept closing above this level. Next, I've seen it over like more than five. I've learned a lot of lessons from this particular move. I'm telling you now. So you just want to wait for that 1 hour candle to just close under these levels before you talk about getting into a sell. So even if you see the 1 hour candle ripping down and there's so much volume, for you being someone that is new, you want to just chill and wait for that 1 hour candle to close under these levels.
okay.
That's what I would say. And when that then if you want to get it, maybe you get it and place your stop loss on the high. Maybe if you want to place it here, cool, or on the high, and then targets this low or lower. That makes sense.
Mm,
Are you with me?
yeah.
So
You go down lower time frame. You wait for price to break that level and retest it and see if the retest holds. And then you get in with your stop above the recent high or recent low, depending on trend direction.
well on the lower time frame, if price is gonna retest this, if like you're saying on the lower time frame, maybe let's say price breaks here. Are you talking about price kind of retesting on this level, right?
Yeah, so like how you have the first indication, and then the correction back above the level,
Mm-hmm.
and then the retest to the level.
Mm.
When if the level is going to hold, you would put your entry above, and then your stop loss below the swing low from the indication, or would you put your stop loss below the level instead?
No, okay. You're saying if the level is gonna hold, would you
Mm-hmm.
take a trade, a buy trade? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I would say, um, okay, good question though. Good question. Now, what I want you to know is that remember this low made an indication, correction, tries to break out, fails, and holds. You need to wait because what you want to see is you want to see this level take out this level here. You want to see that
Gotcha.
price take out this level here to give you that new indication.
Oh, okay. So it's still the
Exactly.
it's in it, okay. It's in the continuation phase then before it goes back that last time.
Yeah, because if this holds and then price takes out this level, this becomes the indication. This becomes a new indication.
Okay. See that be that's what confuses me is I would see that indication and then that correction, and I would think that correction is a higher high, which takes out that previous lower high from the indication, and I would automatically flip my bias based on price coming back down to the level and look for a buy position going up. That explains why I'm always on the wrong side of the trend because I'm 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 thinking we're in the continuation phase when we're really in the correction phase.
Most of the times, it's just because you are a bit. It's always impatience, basically. Most of the times, it's always
That too,
if you stay a little bit
but
impatient, you have seen it. But even though I don't really get your question fully, like if you can just elaborate on it a little bit more, so I can kind of grasp it.
so my mind would see it as a breakout to the bottom side. So
Okay.
the indication down with the correction pull back up,
Yeah.
and I would see that as a failed break to the bottom side, which with a followed by a higher high, and then so my mind would automatically flip
Buy,
from looking for a sell position to looking for a buy position.
and you will get in here.
I would get in when it comes back to the level
Okay.
because that higher high, I would be waiting for it to pull back to the level and then get in.
Mm, okay.
So you see where I'm putting myself on the opposite side of the trade because I was always thinking that it was a failed break to the bottom when really we're still in the continuation phase and I need to see if it's going to break through, continue back through that level.
Yeah. It's not your fault. I think the reason why you're thinking that is because you are trading support and resistance instead of ICC, because that's
Yeah,
support and resistance, because this is basically this is the support, price breaks out, break back in, so this is a failed breakout. So once price breaks back in, price is gonna retest this level and then keep pushing up. That's how support and resistance work. So you are trading, basically trading support and resistance and not ICC.
right.
But ICC,
That's why I'm trying to learn ICC because the rest of it's the other stuff's just not working for me, and I gotta get off to the lower time frame to get to the higher time frame. But I'm also just tired of losing at the game and want to be more profitable.
yeah, the truth is that you wanna get from the higher time frame to the lower time frame and not from the lower time frame to the higher time frame. Because traders these days they trying to catch a move on the lower time frame and then place that take profit on the higher time frame. That's just greed. But you wanna
Yeah,
you wanna get your move on the higher time frame and maybe come to that lower, maybe that 15 minutes time frame to get a more precise entry,
Right.
but still having that 1 hour time frame target in mind and the stop
Hmm.
loss. You get what I'm saying? So you don't want to
Yeah.
you don't want to catch your move on the lower time frame and then come to the higher time frame to come and place your TP. No, you want to see the move on the higher time frame and maybe come to the lower time frame to get an entry, but still having that target on that higher time frame. So it's more like it's more like just zooming in, kind of see what's happening on a deeper level
Hmm.
instead of you starting from zooming in and then zooming out. I don't know how to explain that for you perfectly, but we're gonna get there. But right now, what I just have seen that you struggle with is that you keep putting the things that you learned on support and resistance. You keep confusing that with ICC, and they just don't work the same. ICC is just
Right.
different. ICC is just different. So for you to be able to really understand it, you gotta go back to that basic. We are gonna go back to that basic where we are back to explaining for you that hey, low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. This is where you wanna get. You wanna get in back under these levels. You don't wanna. You wanna get in back under these levels. As long as price is respecting this high, you wanna get
Hmm.
in back under these levels. Sometimes you can see price respecting these highs and you're just getting around here, but you are in the early phase. You don't want to do that. You want to be going safe and you want to be doing the pretty obvious for now, because for you to get to that level where you get a bit more precise, deeper on deeper level, you have to have some sort of experience. So for now, we're just gonna be doing the basics. So you wanna get back in under this level and target these lows. Just doing the basic.
Yeah, I got you.
So you don't want to keep putting the things you've learned so far on something distance. So to help you, something that's helped me a lot is instead of calling it that support and resistance, I just kind of like call it zones. Zones works better for me. So
Okay.
I just be like this zone and I be like this zone. So I don't say support and resistance. I just say this zone and I say this zone because it's just zones. Price is just trying to push price
Hmm.
to the next zone. So that calling it zone will also help you, and um it will help you because now you if you call because if you call this place a zone, zone means when price push it push when the market pushes price down. Let's say when sellers push price to the zone, there are buyers here, so they are just fighting for who's going to push price to the next zone. So when you have that in mind, you are not going to start thinking of taking a trade here because you know that this level is a place where buyers and sellers are at, and they are trying to
Hmm.
push price to the next zone. So you don't want to take a trade here. But if you call it a support, you're going to take a trade here because from what you have learned so far, a support is where price is supposed to bounce off and go higher. So calling it a zone, it's there's a mental click in it, or there's a mental trick in it where when you call it a zone, you don't want to be taking a buy on the zone because the zone is where buyers and sellers are. So you want to see who is taking control before you take a trade. So zones are like where you just watch price and wait for that breakout.
Gotcha.
So um I don't want to fill your head with so much information for now. But let's just take home that hey that um we gotta go back to the basic and the support, the resistance, the doji, the um the Fibonacci, the all that gotta go. Even the moving average that you're using, I don't use
Hmm.
it. I don't. Sai uses moving average, but he doesn't decide his trades with those moving average. He's kind of he supports his trades with that. Maybe where you see price is moving, he sees a good trade and he's seeing his price wants to sell. He's seeing that indication correction, price wants to sell, and then also that moving average is also in sync with that trade. It makes that trade a bit of a high probability trade. If that makes sense. But
Yeah.
he doesn't decide his trade with that moving average. He makes his trade without the moving average regardless. So, and that is what you want to do. You don't want to use it. If you check here, I have it here. Let me tell you on. So look at it. I have
I,
it here.
I try to use it as a trailing stop for when price is trending. So I try to hold as long as price is below or below above the EMA, and then when it comes back and closes on the opposite side, that's when I try to close. But I end up just ignoring it the majority of the time.
You could because you want price to do what you want it to do. You know,
Yeah, and my mind is gonna paint that picture regardless of what price is
yeah.
doing.
Like
It
it's
be it be making you see some stuff that ain't even happening. Like with me scalping on the 1 minute chart, it got in my head for a long while that like each candle was going to be price reversing. So like if we were in a bearish trend and getting red candles, the first time price would pull back on a green candle, I would automatically assume the trend is changing.
yeah, and that's the 1 minute. 1 minute is straight down. I've never gone to the 1 minute time frame ever. There's a whole lot of noise in it. Let me even see. So I've seen people going into the 30 seconds time frame. I don't know what is doing there, but that doesn't make any sense to me. So the 1 minute time frame, it's a lot of noise. It's a lot of
Yeah.
noise. It's a lot of noise. But like I feel like but if you can just get in your head with that higher high, higher low, and just always have in your mind that in your head that if price is trending to the downside, it should never ever take out a previous high.
Hmm.
And if price is trending to the upside, it should never ever ever take out a previous low. Because that previous low, price taking out that previous low or taking out that previous high is an indication basically of price telling you that hey, maybe buyers are starting to come into the market, or hey, maybe sellers are starting to come into the market.
Right.
So it's it price should never just always have it in mind. It's gonna help you, and with that you can be able to hold trades longer, even if you are in profit and you are scared you don't want to lose your profit, or like you don't know what to do, something like that. As long as price is still respecting lows, the trade is still valid. As long as price is respecting highs, trade is still valid. The only time you want to close the trade is when price starts to take out lows or highs. That is where you see, okay, now time to go. And
Hmm.
that's how I don't really get scared of pullbacks anymore. If I'm in a trade, as long as price is still respecting lows, unless maybe the low that I'm expecting price to respect is my entry. Then maybe
Yeah.
if I have a good profit, I want to take it because I expect price can still come back to my entry because my entry is the low.
Hmm.
That means so but on let's say you are doing your analysis, price should never look at this. Let me use this. Price should never take out lows or high. Look at this. Price makes it a low, makes it a new high, makes a low, respecting this previous low, makes a new high, right? A low,
Hmm.
respecting this previous low that caused a new high, respecting it, makes a new high. A low, respecting this one, makes a new high. A low, respecting this one, makes a new high. The moment price takes out that low here, this is where price took out that this low, because this low caused this high. The moment price tapped out this low, this was your sign. But if you are maybe a greedy trader, you're gonna see this at price wicked out that buyers are in here and price can start pushing back up. But that's a lie because price has taken out this low, and long as price has taken out this low, that is your indication. That is
Mm.
your indication that sellers might are starting to get into the market. That is where you want to get out of the trade.
Okay.
This is your always your indication. Whenever you see price when price is in an uptrend, it always respects swing lows. If it's in a downtrend, it always respects swing highs. Once you see price start taking out swing lows or swing highs, then you are in the wrong trend. That's what you want to
Gotcha.
get out. So same thing with here. Once we see price starting to take out these lows, we know that hey, price is in a downtrend. And even if for you, even if you want to take a trade on this, you don't want to wait for that indication correction and continuation, right? Because I
Hmm.
feel maybe you don't want to wait for that. I feel so. Even if you don't want to wait for that, once you see price starts to break out here, if you're getting into a trade, at least you know that your stop loss is above a high, which is that high is supposed to be the high that caused this breakout. Because like I said, if you are in the correct trend, you never expect price to take out previous high. So in this situation now, if we are to see this candle take out this low, I would say technically what that is also telling you is that um hey, you could some can put their stop loss here, some can put it here as well. But basically what that is telling you that hey, this high is what caused this break. So if the price is truly in a downtrend, then price should never take out this high.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because once it takes out the high, then that's a possibility for the trend to be changing,
yeah, exactly.
or it's just going to consolidate.
Exactly. Exactly. Because if just like here, when price made that new indication, if you were in a downtrend, price would have taken out that high. If price took out that high, you don't want to be in the sell anymore. You don't want to be in the sell anymore. So a trend, just always know that a trend is when price is respecting highs and creating lows. So if you are taking a sell trade, you're not taking a sell trade because you want to make $1,000 or $5,000. It's not because you want price to get here. It is because you believe that price is in the downtrend. Price is trending to the downside. And what makes price trend to downside is that it is respecting lows, it is respecting highs and creating lows. So the moment that price starts to take out highs, you don't want to be in that trade anymore because that is no more a downtrend. But most people forget about that and they just start calling it pullback. I mean, when you were getting into the trade, you called it a downtrend. But now price is showing you signs that it's not a downtrend. You started to call it a pullback because you are trying to lie to yourself that price is gonna keep going down. Is meanwhile the whole time price is just showing you signs that hey, buyers are starting to come into this market, I can go up. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, so just have it in mind. That's the one thing I want you to have in mind. Uh also send it over. Let me send over something to your chat where it's also in my group because I do have a group where I just share signals in. I'll just send you this. Let me see. All right, so I sent you something now on the chat where I just say it's just a high, 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 low, low, high, low. Where I just say price will respect structure. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have that picture saved from.
from
I
Sai.
think Sai has it. Yeah, he has it. I think he has it pinned in his group in his chat.
Exactly. Because that is one if you just have this in mind, you ICC is gonna make so much sense for you. People forget it's pinned on the chart, but people always forget this. It's crazy. They always like you always find yourself forgetting about this, forgetting that if as long as price is an uptrend, it will always respect, it will keep respecting lows and creating new highs. And as long as it's in downtrend, it is going to keep respecting highs and creating new lows. So just
Mm.
have it in mind, and then maybe on the next call we kind of look at more trades. We're gonna be more forward testing than back testing. We're gonna be I'm gonna be showing you the ICC with live trades. I'm not gonna be back testing to find the perfect trade now. I'm just gonna be showing you with live trades and all that, because that is
Mm.
gonna make more sense for you, and that is gonna really click it for you. Let me see. You say you trade Nasdaq, so we're gonna go to Nasdaq as well. You trade NAS, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we come here on Nasdaq. Nasdaq is clean, right? So just coming to 1 hour of what price currently doing, and back to that where price made this low, broke this high, then price made a new high, calling this the indication. So I'll mark out this that indication. Price comes above here, creates another high, makes this high level here a new indication. Price didn't correct fully down. I don't know why price didn't correct fully down. Price starts in here, created a new high, making this level here a new indication. The price corrected itself back above here, moved. We have a new high now on the price. So this right here is a new indication, right? So price currently is has moved down. So you want to just wait, because here on the, like I told you, if price is not uptrend, it's gonna keep creating highs and respecting lows. So we see that Nasdaq is creating highs and respecting lows. So mm, so we have price made a high here, made this, then hey, this is how high I can go. Price started to make this low, so price made the low, a new low, another low, right? So this is the correction phase. So price is done correct, is correcting. We don't know if price is done correcting or not. So that's why we're gonna wait, because if you go, let's say you go to the 15 minutes time frame right now, you're gonna find out that price is still creating lows. So you can't really say, "Oh, all right, let me rush and take it a buy here," because price is still like creating lows. Like there's no sign yet that price is done correcting, and also you're out of session. So you just wanna wait and see what price is gonna do. If price is gonna come back down a little bit more, or if price is gonna start showing that a bullish momentum on 15 minutes time frame, where price starts to make a high highs and higher low on 15 minutes time frame during session. Another thing that I want you to do is that I want you to pick a session that you want to trade. I would advise, since you trade Nasdaq and gold, I would advise New York, because just me trading during session, I've been able to avoid a lot of losses that I should have been in. Are you hearing me?